Dear friends, thank you for joining our second international webinar in GreenS project. And GreenS is Green Public Procurement Supporters for Innovative and Sustainable Institutional Change. For today, we have in 2 hours, we would like to discuss and inform you about the GreenS project and implementation. And this will be done by our project leader, Filippo. Then we will have 3 presentations, like study cases or like best practices. One will be about the procurement of building innovation solution PROBIS project, represented by Marisa. Then we will have, for me, it will be very interesting because before I haven't heard anything about the military cases of green public procurement. So then we'll have a presentation from our colleagues in Cyprus. And the last one, but I think also quite interesting, will be from the colleague of municipality Ljubljana, and we will hear about the electricity from 100% renewable energy sources. So in this case, Filippo, would you like to start?
Yes. So thank you, Evita. Thank you for organizing the second international webinar. I'm the project manager from Malesco, coordinator of GreenS project. My name is Filippo Giglio, and so I would like to introduce, to give some information about the project, about for those who already participated at the first international webinar, and for the followers of GreenS, I think that they already know which are the main objectives and actions of the project. So I would like to so please, Rita, can you do you want me I upload the presentation, or
it's as you would like, if it's better for you also to
okay, so I upload the presentation.
And dear friends, if you have any question during the presentations, please use the chat in the left side, and after each presentation we then could read them, and the presenter could also answer.
Okay, so as Evita mentioned, the objective of the project is to enhance capacity of public authorities, central purchasing organizations, central governments, regional and local authorities, municipalities, and public procurers. And the overall objective, it's going to be achieved thanks to the activities and actions performed, outputs and deliverables produced. First of all, I would like to mention that the project now at this stage is halfway. After 18 months of works, because the project lasts 36 months. Of course, we produced many results and outputs. First of all, I would start with the explanation of which are main target groups and key actors of our project. Are municipalities, as I said before, local authorities, regional authorities, energy agencies, and green goods suppliers and producers. Which are the main objectives and milestones of the project? To give technical assistance and long-term support on green public procurement, give territories and institutional bodies, public administrations support on green public procurement. The other important objective is to boost multi-level cooperation and networking among different levels of institutions. I mean, during when we decided to hold the partnership to write down the proposal 3 years ago, we realized that in each country participating in the project, that there was a lack of dialogue, or a lack of cooperation among different levels of institutions, between regions and municipalities, between ministry and regions. So there is a lack of coordination, of communication, of dialogue between this different level of governance. So by GreenS, by the project, our target is to reduce this lack of cooperation and dialogue among different levels of government. Another important objective, I would say milestone, is to test pilot green procurement process. Through GreenS, we like to test how a procurement process works, how in the public administrations a procurement process works, which are the problems related to the implementation of a procurement process, which are the obstacles for the writing and for the implementation of a procurement or a public tender inside a public administration. So through innovative solutions, through innovative processes, and through innovative also action, would like to taste how a public procurement department, how a public administration manages a procurement process. Another important objective, milestone of the project, are the training programs. Thanks to an expert partner which is inside the partnership, which is ICLEI, which is expert on green public procurement, inside the project we are providing many training activities. First of all, with the training for the energy agencies, because as I said before, the first action of the project has been the establishment of GPPS, Green Public Procurement supporting units inside the energy agencies, which will give technical assistance and give long-term support on GPP. And another milestone of the project are innovative instruments and tools which we are developing in the project. So then I would back on this point. So of course, as I mentioned before, when we started writing the proposal, we started analyzing the European context in each participating country. I would say that we are 8 different countries participating at the project. So and we established in 7 countries at EU level the GPPS. So mapping more or less different socio-economic areas like Northern Europe, Latvia and Sweden, Slovenia, Spain, Italy, Germany. So Cyprus, more or less, we tried to cover all parts of Europe to even to understand, to analyze if there are socio-economic indicators which favor or not favor the implementation of GPP policies. So I would back a bit on the barriers and solutions. On the barriers we identified in the project at the beginning of the project, and on the solutions we want to give by the implementation of the project. So first of all, as I said before, we established inside the energy agencies the GPPs units. Probably on the experience we had on the Covenant of Mayors, where we gave technical assistance to municipalities on CIAPs. The idea is to replicate a similar model, because in our territory we realized that there is a local demand above all municipalities, but public procurers in general, and they ask technical assistance, they ask energy agents technical assistance on GPP, as happened for CIAPs, for Covenant of Mayors. So the idea is to create this kind of office, this kind of help desk, this kind of supporting unit, which can give permanently technical assistance to municipalities. And this model is already working, because many municipalities of our region are coming to us for providing public tenders in their offices to buy equipment, to buy vehicles for public lighting. So this kind of assistance already works. As I said before, this lack of dialogue and action and multi-level cooperation among different actors at national, regional and local level on GPP. We are organizing and we are, I would say, successfully steering committees. It means that we invited all partners in all participating countries, energy stakeholders, and also governments, national governments like ministry, regions, association of municipalities, association of categories, to find common solutions on GPP. For example, we started saying that at central level, I mean, the Italian Ministry of Environment gives some guidelines on policies on GPP, but they are a bit weak. So during the steering committee, we said, okay, let's find common solutions to reach also municipalities on GPP policies, to publish on the website the guidelines on GPP, on the minimum criteria, etc., etc. It's not enough. So let's find solutions, common solutions, to raise awareness on the importance of GPP. Also at the regional level, with our region, let's provide legislations on GPP. Let's organize training courses on GPP. Common actions. Multi-level cooperation on GPP, on policies in general. Also, we realized that there is a lack of innovative instruments and tools on GPP. In our project, we developed a GPP database with 21 templates of technical terms for purchase green energy-related products and services. So each partner has translated into its national language a standard template on some categories of products, which can be downloaded from the website and which can be used by procurers for tenders. In some cases, like Sweden, for example, they already have this kind of database, which is very innovative. It's also a feedback and an added value for the project. In our case, we are adapting also the templates according to Italian regulation, which now from last year it's an obligation from some for the purchasing of some products. So we realized that the project is giving results and tangible results. Also, another barrier, which is probably the most difficult to overcome, is the lack of training in public bodies. Unfortunately, we realized that the knowledge of GPP in general, legislation, tools, everything related to GPP, it's quite low. Well, in our case, for example, in Calabria region, also public procurers, people working from heaven on procurement issues, have not knowledge on GPP. So we are organizing with Calabria regions training courses, training activities for public procurers. So these are the main focus of the project. As I said before, we are at the 18th month of the project, so we already produced some important results. First of all, I would mention the practices in each countries of 114 practices on GPP. So this work, led by the Slovenian partner, has been an excellent result. Also confirmed by the European Commission, because it's a document with 114 examples of good practice at EU level on GPP. So not only good practices, but also bad practices, to understand when a practice doesn't work. So this has been the main important milestone of the project, this document. Also, we analyzed 15 SIAPs in each participating countries. Well, 15 was foreseen, but finally we analyzed 108 SIAPs to understand how SIAPs can be connected, how SIAPs can contain or can be adapted to GPP policies. Another important result, well, as I mentioned before, is it has been the establishment of GPPs inside the energy agencies. So in 7 energy agencies, in all energy agencies participating in the project, there are these supporters trained at this point, at this stage of the project, which can improve their skills, their knowledge, but above all can give technical assistance on GPP. In our case, also our Italian partner, which is Calabria region, would like to replicate the model. I mean, also they would give technical assistance on the GPP. Another important result is 7 strategies inside the energy agencies. It means that the GPPS has a strategy to implement, but it's nothing else than a series of actions. I mean, I'm a GPPS, I give support to municipalities, we give support for public tenders, we organize this kind of assistance in this way. Just the strategy to achieve some objectives and how to organize the work. As I said before, we have the online database with 21 templates for GPP tender documents, so it has been done, and 3 new GPP categories, it's ongoing. What else? As I said before, we organized kick-off meetings and technical round tables in each country. Also, this activity is giving some tangible and important results. Also in our case, because a round table, it's a sort of brainstorming. It's a sort of moment where you give solutions, ideas on regulations, on policies, and if you invite the important and the key stakeholders, like UNESCO also, they give you some hints, they give you some suggestions on how to implement GPP policies. Because the dialogue, also the partnership with the different stakeholders it's also a new tool used in the European planning 2014-2020. As I said before, also we provided training material and sessions for procurers, where you can find this material in 7 languages in our website, greensproject.eu. Also, we are providing, also thanks to the VP7 leader, to the leader responsible for dissemination and communication. We are providing also a strong communication and the dissemination activity, also by newsletters, by events, by the website, also by 2.0 tools like Facebook, because now these tools work than all the others. Also as appearances in media, 23 appearances in media, also in specialized media. So which are the main? I would go also straight to the impacts of the project. The impacts of the project are the 21 pilot experimentation projects, okay? Which are the impacts of the project at the end of the project? Energy saving at least 2 gigawatt per year. But to achieve this project, it means that we need to invest for each pilot experimentation 150,000 euros, and also energy production by the project 1 megawatt installed in the pilot experimentation projects. So it means that, for example, we produce a number of tenders, and the number of these tenders have an impact on energy saving and CO2 emissions. So I lost the time. I know. I don't know. If you want any other information about the project, if you want any other number, if you have any question. Hello?
We can hear you, Filippo.
Okay, no. No, I would ask if they have any question, any technical question related to everything, and
I don't think so. No questions in the chat section.
So I give some other information about which are the next goals, just the activities in progress, which will be a position paper, of course, after implementing all these activities. I mean, technical assistance, all that I said, pilot projects implementation, etc., etc. Of course, finally, at the end of the project, or during the end of the project, we'll give European Commissions and at EU level some policy recommendations, because that is the most important feedback for the European Commission, for the European Union. It means what did you learn, which are the lessons learned during the project, what we can do to avoid the same mistakes, what we can do to improve EU policies on GPP. So it will be done in particular in the work package 6, which is the work package dealing with the policy recommendations. It will be an analysis and a collection of all that which has been done. So it will be the final actions to give a feedback on what we have done. Now we are working also on an important document which is gonna be finalized, which is the market research. In each participating country we are finalizing an important work, which is a market research, at EU level on some selected products and services groups, like construction, vehicles, equipment for school, indoor public lighting, outdoor public lighting, office equipment, and others. This market research will be very useful because it's a study on the legal and political framework. So it's a study on, it's a photo at this stage on what is green public procurement in each country, which are the most requested products and services in each country. So this will be a very useful and important tool of the project. Well, there are many many outputs and many results which will be produced at the end of the project. So what else? I don't know. If you have any question, I am at your disposal. My time is going to finish. So, okay.
Still no question?
If something is not clear, I don't know.
I think it's each time it's very interesting to hear the project description and the results we should gain, and so probably if there are no questions, we could give a floor to Marisa Bora Marcos. She's a senior expert in International and Prospective Department in Andalusian Energy Agency. Marisa.
Hello?
Hello, are you ready?
I think so.
So you just have to open your
Do you see me? And also the...
Yes. Hello, we can see you.
No.
We could see you.
Yes, now we are opening the presentation. So it's a pleasure to me. I think I'm not sure if it's possible at the same time you see me and see the presentation. Yes, a little bit. Okay. So it's a pleasure for me to attend the invitation of the Green team, especially concerning Evita and also Pablo Quero. So I would like to share with you some of the information we have from the Provis project. And here we are. This is a project financed by the ECO Innovation Program, and is directly to promote public procurement of innovative solutions for the public buildings. And let's say that the key issues are innovation, and we are working with the demands of public procurement. And also, as you know, for the European Union is quite important to have this amount of money, also not only for public procurement, but to push and boost the innovation market of SMEs in Europe. What we have advanced in our projects, you could see the partners here is coordinated by Environment Park.
José, mira que estaba hablando con Joaquín, pero hemos tenido que dejarlo. Llámame otra vez, porfa. Gracias.
I'm hearing somebody. And the city of Torino. In Italy, we have Lombardy, and we have also an advisor, which is the European House and Rossetti Company. And in Borland, we have the Borland Commune, and we have SP, which is a technical institute, and also the Gothenburg County. And in Mixlock, we have two partners, Mixcall, Hungary, the holding of local government. And in Budapest, we have the National Innovation Office. We would like to comment to you that for this project, we have enlarged our list of partners in order to have specialist people working on the buildings. So these people are in charge of helping, for instance, the municipalities to be able to write down this specification, because are quite different. Now I realize the presentation are in Spanish, so sorry. I will send you the English version. What we have here is the budget of the project, which is 2.2 million euros. The project is just finished, and we have some objective target group, which are the public procurements, the people in charge of elaboration of the technical specification, also the energy manager of public buildings, the decision makers, and very important, the SMEs and research center, which are the offerings of the technology. What could be interesting for you is we have in our webpage all the phases that we have had for this project. So let's say that for anybody who would like to make a public procurement of innovation or public procurement of buildings, you have everything very well organized. Because, for instance, in Spain, it has been such a big change from the current models to that ones. So first of all, we have to identify the common needs of the buildings. So it's not longer valid to have a copy and paste of the technical specification of the buildings. So we have this second phase here, the participation and market dialogue. For instance, we have in each of the participating regions, we have meetings with the special people who are in close contact with SMEs and in close contact with the latest technologies. For instance, concerning renewable energy for buildings, one of our partners put a lot of importance in that, so put a percentage of the building have to be up to 25% with renewable energy sources. So in our meeting in Malaga, for instance, we have many clusters and we have an open dialogue by internet. So we also have, apart from the one meeting in each country, we have one webinar open to everybody. So any potential offerant of technology could participate in this project. Do you hear me well?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Because it's strange that I don't see people, so I guess you hear me well. Fine. So from this kind of new way of doing things, there is much more understanding between the public procurement bodies and the research centers and the SMEs who has, for instance, the graphene new material for buildings, or they do have an integrated energy management system for the buildings, or they have the latest renewable energy technology. So let's say that from our experience, it has been quite interesting, this participation of market and dialogue. Then we have the write down the technical specifications, but dependent on the function and the performance. And we have these performance indicators has criteria for the public procurement licitation and adjudication of the buildings. Then we prepare a previous information notice, the strategy for the preparation of the documents, so the people may know in advance what we are going to have. So through our webpage and the webpage of each of partners, they could go and know what we are going to launch. Then we have a coordination among us for the public procurement. And then we have made studies on the implementation and the results on monitoring. Very interesting thing is that we have a network of public buyers. This is one of the most important things that we have had. Now we're going to the next. This maybe I have this in English. Let's see. It's more convenient for you. hope it's going to run. So you have the presentation, the approach for the four buildings we have like pilot projects. One of the buildings, the first one, as I mentioned, we use a company who are making all the studies of the technical specification. It is based on the free design. Then you could see this is one of our pilot buildings. They focus the public procurement on the design. This is a very big building which has administrative and also they have the police service there. They would like to make a very big rehabilitation of the building, and they have an estimated budget of 0.9 million euros. And at the public procurement, we use the reduction of the consumption of up to 20%. Also, we got new requirements concerning the tenants' complaint to reduce to the minimum. Also, we have the technical specifications require that the people who are working on the building, mainly the police and also administrative buildings of the municipality, do not have or have to go outside the building or in the minimum number of days. So this kind of requirements could be included at a specification of the functional specification of the buildings, and also reduce the historical cost of maintenance of the buildings and increasing the thermal comfort of the users of the buildings. So this is one of the projects we have. The other project is in Milano. This is another type of very different building. Is social housing apartments. We have 44 apartments. Is 3 buildings. Each of those have 18 apartments, and we have total surface 7,600 square meters, and we will focus in this at the building level. We are requirement. Our main requirements are concerning windows, heating system, EMs, and insulation. And the expected target we have is saving at least 367,000 kilowatt-hour year minimum. Also, we have requirements concerning the maintenance cost of the buildings, lowering to the historical cost, and also the minimum number of tenants complaints, and also the minimum numbers of tenants who has to go to another buildings. Meanwhile, we are having this rehabilitation. Then I'm going to present to you the project we have in Miskolc. This is in Hungary. We have this presentation is focused on the design and work standards, and this is an office buildings. We have also some interesting figures, almost 3,000 square meters and 281 kilowatt hours square meters a year. So this building is an FF class, and they want to achieve an EE plus class. And as I mentioned before, they want 25% of renewable share in the buildings. And the total estimated investment is 1.2 million euros. So now we have in Sweden the Borland pilot project. This project is social housing as well. They have 3 floors, 27 apartments, and square meters is more than 2,000 square meters, 172 kilowatt hours per square meter. And the main tender focus is the ventilation system solutions, the air conduct, windows, and also the airflow of the buildings. And the expected targets are 85 kilowatt hours per square meters, and also the minimum increasing the tenants' comfort, increasing the internal thermal comfort of the buildings. And the total estimated invest they have is 1.2 million euros. So thank you. In these buildings, we would like to mention that sometimes has been difficult. In fact, the building concerning Hungary, they have made it outside the project itself, so it had not financed the specification itself, but they have prepared everything they need for the project. So let's say that this kind of projects has a little bit more complexity than other projects. Okay, and now I'm going again to the other presentation. One moment, because we would like to share with you other information we have from this. What happened? Okay, so we would like to share with you some of the information we have from our Provis project.
It looks like Filippo's presentation is opening.
Okay, they are mixing.
Do you want me?
Here, I'm going. Anyway, if I don't have the presentation, I will talk myself.
It's okay now.
Some of the information we have had is that it's quite important to have the SMEs with us. So for the SMEs, what we said is the market events. This is one of the market events we have in Malaga, as I mentioned. We also have surveys concerning the different technologies, and I will recommend this kind of methodology for all kind of projects, because you have more accurate information and the possible solutions. In the case especially of very big buildings like hospitals and other big buildings, as we have seen here, the police station of our friends in Torino, and also for social houses, is you have more accurate information. Many times these type of buildings, especially the buildings who has quite old the year of construction, we have many problems, and the people who are living there have many problems, and these technologies could give you very quickly support. So we have in each region meetings with many attendants, and we also have a webinar and the survey. So the methodology we have could be used for anybody, especially in Andalusia and in Hungary, where we don't have experience not yet in buildings, because the partners from Torino has developed other projects like Papyrus and others. This is quite important to have an amount of people who are really from the public side, who will really like to have this new sharing of information because the system changed a lot. We need to work together with the juridical departments, with the people who are in charge of the elaboration of the technical specification, with the engineers, with the architect, and also with the people in charge of auditing, with the technical performance of the buildings. So we have in each of the countries and also in European level creating a network of public procurers. I think you have the same of the GreenS projects, and we have very good experience from this because we could share experiences, we could share the way to ameliorate and to improve the technical specifications, and also following up the legislation, because most of the countries, because European directive on public procurement, they have been changing the legislation in each of the countries. So we have in our project at the same time the changing of this information. So we have to be very aware of all novelties that have been going on. Has questions for the debate and our experience. We contract experts from in the public licitation and public procurement, and a group of people from the university and from SMEs wins this licitation, and they have been given training for all public procurers who are interested. So you may go to our webpage, and there you could see all the information in English and also in Spanish. You have also videos, you have information also in Spanish, also in Hungary. So you have many information which is available for everybody, and I will recommend you to go there. Concerning our reflections, we have found out that the CPI is not so easy, that the mobility of the SMEs, the construction sector, is not so easy. Most of these SMEs has a local base, but the project has been very successful because has give us the opportunity to exchange opinions among the stakeholders and also among the providers of the technology. As a reflection, we have found that also one space technology affect the other and affect the total performance of the buildings. So they say when we are talking about heating and climatization and cooling, that will also affect other parts of the energy efficiency of the buildings. Quite important is that small suppliers of technology do not always are used to participate in the offers. So we also like to this project and other European projects is a very good opportunity for very small micro SMEs to participate in European projects. And since our training, we have been focusing in some juridical questions. So we have seen that the advantages of the negotiated procedure for the licitation. We have that the project juridical, from the juridical point of view, has its complexity, but as I mentioned, the most complexity is concerning the time framework. So you have to encompass your time framework of the public procurement with the time framework of the project itself. The technical specification are no longer technical specification type, so not more copy paste, but since we are going to establish for each buildings the requirements that are really good for these buildings, we have had a lot of saving of budget for the building and also a lot of knowledge. So our overall view is quite well. Also, some other socioeconomical questions. So you have to work with a certain amount of budget, normally a maximum amount of price, and to determine this price of the technologies you will provide, you have these surveys and you have these market events. We also have the reflection, and we have done in our consortium, that you need multidisciplinary group of people. So in the case of the Andalusian Energy Agency, as a result of the project, we have created a multidisciplinary working group in order to have more and more public procurement of innovation in our nest buildings. In the case of Andalusian and other projects, for instance, we are managing almost 5,000 buildings of the public administration. So we have most part of the hospitals, we have also institutes, we have schools, we have administration buildings. So there are many partners who has the possibility of apply this European project at home. And we have found out also, like in the Green project, that a lot of green requirements and social requirements concerning the tenants, the quality of the air, and also the requirements of the materials from this system, they are much more easier to be applied. So, lesson learned. We would like to have more training concerning the public procurement ordinary and this new innovative public procurement. Most of the partners have this interdisciplinary collaboration among juridical bodies and especially administrative bodies and architects and engineers. This system gives much more confidence among all operators between the offer and the demand in the buildings, and that we are going to be very aware about all legislation coming from all participating countries, taking into account the new directive. Also, we think that there is the necessity to elaborate much more new studies concerning the real need of the buildings, and there is the necessity to elaborate the technical specification each time. Better integration of novelty criteria in the technical specification of the buildings, and major effort concerning the time framework of the projects. From the side of the public bodies, we will have to lead with much more effort from the public procurements in order to planning buildings with much more longer time framework in order to have into consideration all the market events reflection in the elaboration of the technical specifications. So we will integrate the environmental criteria and social criteria. We have found that we have ameliorated much more the state of the art and the knowledge by the side of the public bodies, and maybe at a short place also there is some difficulties, but we have found and we have studied with real figures that long term there is much more benefits for the buildings in order to ameliorate the buildings park, and also in order to energy saving of buildings and increasing renewable energy of buildings. And we have found out much more economic saving for the public administration. So we have very happy and very proud to be able to have been working with this project. We have much more information concerning all the deliverables of the documents that you could see at the webpage. We have participation of many bodies, and we also have newsletters and Twitter and Facebook who we are been sharing with other projects. And we would like to also to just mention that we have found a lot of collaboration with other projects, with GreenS, Papyrus, and other, because there are some projects who have some similarities, and you could find out also in our webpage access to other interested projects who are related with this subject. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Marisa. Yes, one of the similarities that I found that you have this procurers platform, but in GreenS project we have suppliers online catalog. So, yes, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Has been a pleasure.
Yes, it's also for us, for me. If nobody has any question, because I can't see in the chat, I then would like to invite, sorry for misspelling, Eftisha Ianu from Cyprus. She is Technical Service Executive Engineer in the Ministry of Defense. So, are you ready, colleagues from Cyprus?
So. One second, please.
Yes, yes, of course.
Okay.
Yes, we can see your presentation.
Okay. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello. My name is Eftisha Ioannou. I'm a civil engineer, executive engineer, and I'm working in the technical department of Cyprus MOD. And today I have the presentation here about the green public procurement. We collaborate we are in the national action plan of Cyprus of Ministry of Environment, and I make a small. I have to tell some things, some examples what we do in our ministry. At the beginning, I have to tell that we have an environment policy and energy policy in our ministry, and inside this policy we have also the green public procurement. And as we see in the first slide, the Ministry of Defense of Cyprus has taken the approach of establishing a green public procurement policy, including commitments to green public procurement implementation within its tendering processes. The procurement section of the MOD, which is the tendering authority of MOD, supports and promotes, where possible, green public procurement criteria in line with the National Green Procurement Action Plan and with the EU guidelines and strategies and policies. We have here some the examples of green public procurement adopted in MOD tendering processes include the request that the successful bidder is participating in a collective or individual packaging waste management system, participating in a collective or individual batteries waste management system, and participating in a collective or individual electrical waste and electronic equipment management system. We have the e-procurement platform is the official web-based tool for the application of electronic procedure in conducting public procurement bids. The system is compliant with the provisions of the European and Cypriot law of public procurement. This is the way we have these procurements. And the main activities of the procurement division include prepare the relative tender documents, supervise the technical requirements in accordance with the national, European, and international standards for the acquisition of equipment, supplies, and services for the National Guard, publish tenders via the e-procurement platform, assist on the evaluation of tenders, prepare and sign contracts on behalf of the MOD of the government for the acquisition of hardware, software, turnkey solution systems, and services. Prepare and sign contracts on behalf of the government for the maintenance and operational support of hardware, software, and turnkey solution systems, offer counseling and assistance with the MOD and National Guard if requested on green procurement, represents MOD within government meetings, seminars, etc., especially ones concerned with the tendering subjects. I have here some examples. The MOD applies green public procurement in different categories and uses environmental criteria in its tenders, as in the example below. Clothing, textile, clothing for the needs of the army, printing and writing paper, recycled paper, water conservation. We have in 9 military camps 11 grey water systems, and also 9 water treatment plants in 9 military camps. We produced electricity generated from solar photovoltaics. We have 5 solar PVC systems at 5 military camps, and for our buildings, military buildings in the camps, we have some examples about low energy buildings. We give now the last 2 years the certificate of energy performance. We use the thermal insulation. We used also LED lighting, and in every building we use the solar hot water systems. Another thing is the waste recycling in the camps and in every camps, and we have also the management of the used oils, the oils for the kitchen oils and the oils for the cars. This is the main products, and we have a lot of these items under the green public procurement, and we believe to continue in this way to to make technical specifications with under the green procurement. This is a small, short presentation from my ministry. If there is something to ask, some questions, please, I can listen you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. I have one question and one remark. Actually, 2 years ago, I was in one seminar where one military person said, you know, you cannot buy many things green in the military services, but now I can see that you can buy, and we can buy very much, at least. Not only maybe weapons and some other technique. Could you tell, please, at what stage is your military green? May I say so? Did you start recently these green public procurements in these topics you mentioned, clothes, printing, water conservation, electricity, or you are very professional already in these questions?
No, it depends from the item. For example, for the buildings, we make a lot of things from last 15 years. For example, for the thermal isolations, last I believe the last 15 years we make all the specification for the buildings. Include thermal insulation, and the certificate for the energy performance, I believe these last 2 years. But we have the solar hot water system is one we use it a lot of years, I believe more than 20 years. We have this solar hot water systems. The LND, the last year, we use for the new buildings. We have, although now in the camps, 5 solar PVC systems from 2011. And also we apply in a military camp the ISO EMAS, System Environmental Management System, European EMAS, in one camp. And now for the next step, for the next, this year and the other year, we have to apply it in other 10 big military camps. Just a moment, please.
I would like also to comment. This is Stavas Vlachos from the Cyprus Energy Agency. The Ministry of Defense is a very good example from public service in Cyprus, because they do have a strategy for procurement, for green procurement, the last 3-4 years. But before this, they had also actions relevant to this, even if the national strategy was not there. And recently they won an award, the last national GPP awards in Cyprus, because they do have a policy and they have a lot of actions to do, and most of them are already planned. And we foresee that we will take the opportunity of GreenS project, and we use some of the technical specifications for upcoming procurement in the ministry.
Will be more useful for us.
And they found this, the opportunity that the GreenS project gives to procurers, because they seek for technical specifications and they need assistance on this. Even if they did a lot, they have the plans to do even more.
Yes, yes, of course.
That was my intervention from my side.
Congratulations about the award. I have one question still. This management of used oils, these are some technical oils, or it's which is related to the food?
From both.
Mm-hmm.
From the kitchen, also from the cars.
Mm-hmm.
And then all the engine oils. And bacon.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you very much.
Mhm.
interesting, yes, for me at least. I cannot see the question in the chat, so no one also is switching a microphone to ask a question. So if nobody has any question, probably we could give a floor to Alenka Luz. And actually, I would like to say that this international webinar are being recorded, and it will be later available in the Green website as also the presentations.
So I was asked to present our green public procurement for the electricity in Ljubljana. Maybe I can also something more. I have only 7, so just a little bit of history for this. So maybe how Ljubljana has become the green capital of Europe in 2016. We have made several strategies in previous years, and all of them were also leading in, let's say, energetic issues. So how to become also how to use renewables and how to reduce energy consumption in Ljubljana. So we had several strategies, and all strategies led to decide also that the green public procurements are a very important issue in to reach these strategies. So what is our situation in Ljubljana? Energy supply in the city of Ljubljana in general is for heating is natural gas network that is green in this picture. The heating that is in the yellow picture, and we have to say that the heating is coal powered with wood and biomass co-burning. And this is a cogeneration plant, and this for center is a complementary with the natural say on some other widen up this our networks. So what is this green public procurement? It is that more than 105 public stakeholders. So we are supplying only for our buildings and the buildings of our companies that are in. And they comprise also education, public schools, let's say kindergartens, sports, objects that in our ownership, traffic lights in the city of Ljubljana on our roads, and also the lighting in the city of Ljubljana, and also pharmaceutical companies and waste and water supplied. They are joined in the common order. So we have ordered the 36.5 terawatt hours of electricity, and it was ordered in the second half of the year 2015, and it is certified for 100% renewable energy sources. Previously, before this order, it was 50% of green electricity for our buildings. So this is, let's say, in general how it is, and we are paying about 12 millions of euros for this energy. So our company, public company Energetica Ljubljana, I already mentioned before that they are supplying district heating and natural gas. They are also trying to be more green. So on their business building, they have photovoltaic systems, and they are also trying to do, let's say, to move more green in the future. So also to produce, let's say, energy from wood and biomass that presents about 40% of wood and biomass in the Republic of Slovenia. And what else the city is trying with its public companies? This is an area of the public company, public transport company. We use CNG buses and also electric vehicles in the city of Ljubljana. And there are also compressor stations for the natural gas to CNG. And we are planning to produce with photovoltaic the electricity for this compressor for our own use to compress the natural gas into the CNG on the location. So this is also one future program of the city of Ljubljana. And what we are doing in the city center, we have closed the city center for transport, and we are using electric vehicles, and also we use bicycles to move through the city. This is very shortly my presentation because I decided just to show what we have done. If you have any questions, I'm open to answer them. Generally, we are also supporting, let's say, the renewables for households, let's say, within the city center. We have also the decree on priority use of the energy supply systems or energy carriers in the city of Ljubljana in general. So this is all. Have you any questions?
Thank you very much. You are very progressive city. Municipality, I would say, but thank you very much.
Yes.
So they very quiet audience we have.
Yeah.
No questions. Yes, this is. Hello, this is Marisa Borra.
Yes, hello, Marisa.
Yes. Could you give us more information on this 100% renewables that you have mentioned, because it is quite interesting for us?
Yes.
Thank you.
So we have ordered for all our buildings in the city of Ljubljana. We have measuring points, and we have specified that we would like to have a bidder for 100% renewable energy sources. We got 6 suppliers have applied for our tender. So we have selected the one who offered us the lowest price, and it was HEP from Croatia. And the certificates we have obtained from them for energy supplies were for hydro energy, for wind energy, and for solar energy. Do you need some more data?
It's okay. It's quite interesting because we are also focused quite much on renewables here in Andalusia. So we have wind and solar, thermal, PV. So this is quite interesting. So maybe we could talk later on.
Yes, of course. We
Thank
can
you.
also, let's say, have contacts via email.
Okay, thank you. This is very interesting.
Yes, thank you too.
Yes, you have each other emails in the mailing list for this international webinar.
Yes, yes.
So thank you very much, Alenka. It was a pleasure for me to hear all the presentations and to manage this meeting. I would like to say thank you for all the presenters, and I hope the audience has also new interesting information to think about. And I would like to say that these type of international webinars we have also in the future, and the next one will be in July 2017. So the topics are right now we do not know, but I think they will be as much as interesting as these ones. So if there are no more questions from the audience, I would like to thank once again to all the presenters, and I would like to say thank you also for the listeners, for the participants. Thank you very much. We have finished a little bit before the set time, but I think it's not a big problem. So as I mentioned, this meeting will be available in Green Project website and the presentation also. So thank you very much for your participation, and let's meet sometime else. Thank you.
Thank you.